Hello and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix. And joining us right here today is Shelley Speck back on the show. Shelley, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. You are very lucky because you're the first person being interviewed on my show for the New Year. So
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding you. You're the first one. So
Whee!
congratulations.
Oh, I'm so honored. Thank you.
Yes, you're very, very welcome. So, for those that may not know much about you, why don't we get started to get to know you a little bit and tell us how you got started in music and tell us your story?
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. Sure. I started playing guitar after I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. So this is how old I am. Um, and I picked up a guitar. I taught myself how to play. And within, I don't know, 6 months, I think one of my teachers entered me in the seventh grade talent contest and I won. And I was singing, I think I was singing a Stones song and another song. And it just sort of, I didn't have much self-esteem because my home life was bad. It's like I couldn't wait to get out and I was always running away. And so I would lock myself in the bathroom and write songs. And my seventh grade teacher heard me singing and went, and I won the contest, and that just sort of gave me some self-esteem. It gave me momentum, and I started singing at clubs and stuff when I was 13, and it continued on. I got married when I was 19, and so I sort of took some time off and didn't do much music and wanted to grow my nails out because you play guitar, you got to keep your nails
Right.
short. And I was like, oh, I just want to have, my nails long like other girls. So, but then I moved up to San Francisco and started playing gigs up there, had become known up there. Then I came down here and took my career to another level. I signed with A&M Records, and I had several producers there. A&M Records is now UMG. Um, and the productions, they just weren't happening. It was okay. I started a band in the 80s, a big hair band, you know. It was all boys, all men, I should say, and me, and I wrote all the songs, and we did several recordings for RCA, for A&M, for what else? I'm leaving. Oh, Warner. We did a recording with Warner, and we signed, and nothing happened. So I was like, I kind of got bored doing performing shows. It was really rigorous. I didn't want to tour anymore, so I signed with A&M Records Publishing Company as a staff songwriter. So I sat in a room all day and wrote songs. That was my job.
Mm.
And I really enjoyed that and continued that all through, my latest release. Just I love writing songs. I love more than writing songs, I love telling a story. I don't know if you can relate to that, but just telling
Absolutely.
a story, making having the visual, the image, the imagery in a song. If it's not there, it's like, I mean, you can have great songs like, without imagery. I mean, there's tons of them out there, especially R&B stuff. So, like early R&B stuff is like amazing. And, hip hop is great. Um, but so that's where that's leads me up to now, where I'm just trying to get my songs. I signed with a Nashville song plugger who's getting my songs to like Shania Twain, Sheryl Crow, and stuff like that, because that's my ultimate goal, is to have other people like listen to this music and go, I've got to record it. And I mean, like having Shania Twain record one of my songs would be like, I've died and gone to heaven.
Hmm.
So that's that's where I'm at today.
That is incredible. No, you have a brand new EP with one of the songs being Free Range Stories. Tell us more about that.
Okay, free range stories is going back to the images that I create when I write, and I just came up with it. I thought I did three songs. I did a song called "The Bottles on My Side." It's about drinking too much when my marriage ended. And the only friend I had in town was a bottle. I mean, I'm not an alcoholic. I hardly ever drink. But that's just kind of a ballad that tells a story of real sorrow and real longing for the one that got away. The second song is a song called She Ain't the Marryin' Kind. She ain't the marrying kind. I don't know if you heard it, but
Yes,
that's
I
the
did.
song we're pitching to Shania Twain. And that was, I was working with a drummer out here. You know, I live in the Coachella Valley, and I was out here working with the drummer for a live show. And, you know, of course, we're girls. We started talking. I don't mean this sexist, but we start talking about relationships and
Hmm.
which relationship do you regret? And blah, blah, blah. And she said, and I told her I regretted, you know, losing my husband, you know, because I was so young and I just wanted to be wild and free. We're talking about that. And she, she says, I ain't the marrying kind. And I'm like, oh, there is a song title. So the song is about a woman who takes a road trip in her Cadillac, her convertible Cadillac, and you know she's not getting tied down. She has relationships with men, and you know she, but she never can be tied down. And she's going through Joplin, Missouri, which is where I'm from, Missouri. She's going driving through Joplin, Missouri, and she sees a stray dog by the side of the road, and she picks it up. And the song talks about how she's tied together, but she ain't tied down because she makes this bond with this animal. And you know how it is bonding with animals.
Yes.
Do you have animals?
I do, yes. I have two dogs and a cat. Do you have any
Oh,
animals?
I do. I have two dogs. I lost the kitty last December.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and her and my dog, who's Portuguese water dog and miniature poodle, little guy, they were best friends. They slept on the bed with me, and then he got really depressed. So I got him a puppy. So I have like this little poodle puppy. They're both rescues. You know, all the
Hmm.
animals I've had are rescues. And he's really happy now. You know, he wouldn't eat at first, and it was great. I got the puppy in March. So my relationship to animals, especially, is sacred. And the song is about meeting. Yeah, she's not going to get tied down by a fella, but she meets this
Right.
dog, and she's like, you know, we're tied together. That's it. We're good.
Absolutely. Now tell us more about your collaboration and producing by the one and only Grammy winner Greg Wells that did a lot with the big movie Wicked.
Yeah, so excited for him because, as I said, we've known each other since the '90s and collaborated on many projects. Generally, when I was a staff songwriter, I would hire him. He had just come down from Canada, and I would hire him to play. He's a multi-instrumentalist, so he can play keyboards, guitar, drums. And so my partner and I had a songwriting partner. We would hire him all the time. And he didn't have a job. He was like nothing, you know.
Yeah.
And it was before he started working with Katie Lang and Shania
Yeah.
Twain and Celine Dion and David Foster. And so we've remained friends. We've remained in touch. And then, as I said before we went on air, I had done a live show, and I performed The Bottles on My Side. And he had gotten it somehow. I don't remember sending it to him, but he got it. And I contacted him and I said, I know you're huge right now. You know, you've got multi Grammys. I'm looking for a multi instrumentalist to do this song. And he said, I'm doing it. And I was like, wow. Wow, I get chills. I still get
Hmm.
chills when he said, I'm doing it, and I'm doing it for free. And I was like,
Oh wow.
what? So he's in LA, I'm in the Coachella Valley. We did everything remotely. I recorded everything here in my home studio, the vocals. I played
Hmm.
guitar, I played harmonica, I did all the background vocals, and I played acoustic guitar. And then I sent it to him, and he did drums, and he had someone, Val McCallum, come in and do electric guitar, but he did all the drums
Hmm.
and bass. He did a killer bass line. So that's how that came about. And I remember getting it and crying because it was so perfect. And I've just never had a production that I've been totally happy with. This is, couple when I went out on my own with my writing partner, we produced for a lot of different people. She and I, we produced everything and wrote everything, and those productions were really good. Angie Rubin is her name, and she is a killer producer. She taught me everything I know about, technical stuff about music, about how to record on a computer, what kind of microphones to get, and now I'm pretty snobby.
That is incredible. Now, people want to learn more about you and what you're doing. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Spotify. They can go to my website, which is preferable because it plays the songs in sequence. Spotify, I'm on several playlists with like Loretta Lynn. Like, really? That's cool. I can go there. Um, they can go to Shelley Ray Speck on Spotify. And Shelley is with an EY, SHELLEY, So I go by my middle name, Shelley Ray Speck. And they can find me on Spotify. They can find me on YouTube. They can go to my website, ShelleyRaySpeckMusic.com, which is great. It has tons of pictures and new bios and why I chose Free Range Stories for the name, because I just felt like free range songs didn't quite cut it, but I felt like what I'm doing is free range. It's like when I sit down to write, Kayden, I usually just I plug into something totally different.
Hmm.
I'm sure you've heard this from other artists.
I have, and it's like you're almost in a completely different universe.
Exactly, exactly. I just something comes over me. It's almost like praying.
Hmm.
It's almost like this, and it just comes. The melody comes, the lyrics come. Sometimes I get like the idea for She Ain't the Marrying Kind. I
Hmm.
originally wrote it for I Ain't the Marrying Kind, but I am. So I had to change it to she. I had to re-record the whole song and thought, and plus, I want other artists to cover it, and I thought every other female artist is married, so I Ain't the Marrying Kind isn't going to work. But it also could be sung by a male. I just happen to do the EP singing it myself. I sing on all the EPs and play guitar. And then sometimes I play harmonica. So that's pretty much that. Free range stories has to do with like I just said, and how you agreed. It's just you're like praying.
Hmm.
You're in another universe. You're in another space.
Hmm.
It's very spiritual. It's very quiet. It's you just hear all these sounds and all these ideas. I'm getting chills. And when I pick up my guitar, which we have to get her on
Oh, please. Yes.
look at this baby.
That is nice.
Look at this back.
Oh, wow. That's
Arch
great.
top. It's an arch back, they call it. It's called but something happens when I pick up the guitar. Something special, something relational. I don't know if that's a word, but it'll have to do. Something happens when I hold it. Something happens. When you hold a guitar, the sound hole is right at your gut, right your solar plexus. And you can feel it.
Yes.
It's amazing. So it's like you're one with the instrument and you're also one with the universe. So, I know it sounds, but it's true. This songs, I feel honestly like I feel like an imposter when I say I wrote them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I think that is absolutely amazing. And what's next for you? It's a brand new year. Do you have any upcoming projects that we could look forward to?
Yeah, I do. I'm coming out with another EP in June of new songs. They're going to be in the same free range stories, telling stories, describing events that I witnessed or, lived in my life. I have a new song called I Don't Like Pretending, which is a rocker, and that's going to be really fun to produce. I won't be able to get Greg again, or maybe I will, I mean, maybe I will. He's that nice of a guy. He's amazing. I can't say enough good things about him, and I'm so happy. I mean, he's going to win an Oscar, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm without a doubt, especially with the Wicked movie just came out and it's doing really
Yeah.
well out there.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I have not. I need to though. Have you?
No, I plan to see it this week. I was waiting for all
Oh
the traffic
yes.
to die out.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Like I'm going to go on a weekday in a big
Yes.
theater, like at IMAX or something like that.
Uh-huh.
How about you?
There you go. That's perfect. Because if you go on the weekend, it's going to be crazy busy.
Exactly. And I guess people are squealing and yelling.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's great. It's great. And I could not be happier for Greg. He deserves it. People give interviews, and I've given interviews all the
Hmm.
time and say, hear them say, he's such a nice guy, but he's such a nice guy. He is, because a lot of the music industry, you get to that level and,
Hmm.
you forget about your friends from 20 years ago and things like that. He's not like that. I'm just so pleased for him. So what's next for me is I'm going to have three songs come out. I Don't Like Pretending, and then a song called Renegade, and the other one called Most of All, which is a ballad about, losing someone. I love you most of all. Um, so there'll be country vein.
Okay.
The I Don't Like Pretending is going to be more of a rock country, more like
Hmm.
I Ain't the Marrying Kind. So that's coming up in June.
That's amazing. Well, Shelley, is there anything that I forgot to mention that you'd like to mention before we go today?
No, but I would love to be able to see more of your videos that you do. I don't know if you could have Tammy send me some links. So I'd love to follow you because I follow you like on
Yeah.
Instagram and stuff, but I'd like to be able to follow your interviews.
Yeah, I could definitely send you over my website and everything, which again
Okay.
is thekayden for those that may not know.
Okay. All right. That
But
sounds
anyway,
good.
I'll definitely do that. And again, I would like to thank Shelley Ray Speck for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Definitely appreciate your time and support, Shelley.
Thank you, and I appreciate your time and support.